Hello and welcome to the Ryno Sports Talk Podcast, episode 8. And I have quite a few different topics to talk about. And the first one being, should college athletes be paid? And so I have two little, things that I want to bring up before I get into my opinion about this. So I'm going to jump right into it, I guess. A lot of these schools have, the conferences get revenue. And so, there's a lot of different schools that don't all report their revenue, or at least that I saw, or that they made the waves. But the one that everyone knows about is the SEC. That is the Southeastern Conference, and they have the Alabama and the bigger name schools and stuff. And so they reported their revenue. This was about a couple weeks ago, and what their revenue was $527.4 million. So I'm just going to leave that there for a moment. I just wanted to throw that stat out there first. And then the other piece was, in reaction to that, was Jalen Tabor of the Florida Gators. He actually said what he thinks about it. And he says that, this is his actual tweet. It says the SEC made $527 million in total revenue, and players ain't get a penny. Modern form of slavery. So I guess I'm gonna go right into it. I think he's kind of right, partially because he's a student athlete, and the schools are making money off of him, all the other schools around him. So like the SEC is making it off of all the SEC schools, and the Florida Gators in particular, since that's where he plays, or the Crimson Tide or whatever, are making it off of their students. Or the student athletes, I should say. So I think they kind of should be paid, but I don't really understand why they should or shouldn't. I mean, yes, there's two different things to it. They could be paid, or they should be paid, or it could stay the same like it is, and they're still amateurs. And I'm going to make this a two-part thing, and this one's the first part of it will be, yes, they should be paid, and the second part will come out, it'll be, no, they shouldn't be paid. And that'll be in 2 weeks, I think. And so why I think they should be paid, and I guess I'll start, before I do that, is how, though. No, I'll talk about why they should be paid first. And excuse me. And so why they should be paid is they're usually basically making the money for the school using their brand. And I have a plan for why they should be paid, which I'll talk about just a little bit, and also revive a big part of the franchise, or big franchise of video game that I particularly enjoy. And so another reason why they should be paid, aside from them being the face of the school and all this stuff, jersey sales, and basically making the school money for them being good, is they're putting, especially in football, this is more prevalent, is they're putting their body on the line and their mind, I guess, and they're putting a lot of stuff on the line to play this sport and possibly go pro, but they could also get injured and have a career-ending injury. So, for example, I think it was 5 years ago, Eric LeGrand from Rutgers, he broke his neck playing football, and he was going to go pro, but he broke his neck and is now paralyzed. So I don't know who. I mean, he lost his. He became paralyzed because he played football in college. So should the NCAA cover him and protect him, or should they just say, "Oh, you're just another guy," kind of thing? That's debatable. I don't really know the whole facts on that. I just kind of remember the story, and that's kind of a thing of why they should be paid, because they're risking injury and all this other stuff that they don't necessarily have to in other sports or fields or anything like that. So I think that's a great thing for them. That's a good reason as any for them to get paid, is just because they're putting their bodies and, in football's case, their minds on the line, because they could get concussions and have CTE and all that stuff. I'm not going to get into that, but injuries is basically the reason, is with the is the reason you should pull out of that little talk there. And so you got the, like I said, injuries, and then like I said before, also the them being the face of the school and making the money and getting the jersey sales and all that. So with that, those are the two main reasons. I think that they should also be paid because the SEC pulled in $547 million, sorry, like I said earlier, but all these other schools are also doing it. They're making money from out-of-conference games, in-conference games, ticket sales, jersey sales, a bunch of stuff, going to the bowl games and all that stuff. And that, like, the schools are getting this, and they're putting it, some of it back into this football. Like, some of it, like the bowl games, obviously, bowl game money goes straight back into the football for new jerseys, new whatever. They don't say what they go into, but they go back into the football team. And then some of it, like, another portion of it, so like their ticket sales and all that go into furnishing the arenas and stuff, which is all right. I like that. That's fine by me. And then you have like other stuff that'll just go straight back into the school for education, and it's all coming from football. And I mean, none of that's bad, but when you have these athletes that are broke because they can't have a job because they're working all the time, or not working all the time, they're doing football all the time, they're lifting, they're playing their sport all the time, they're practicing lifting, working out, conditioning, whatever it may be. So, like, I know football here, they have morning practices, they have meetings, they have evening practice, they have weightlifting, they have all this stuff where there's almost no time for these athletes to be able to work and stuff. So I think if they wanted to do something, they'd have to have a little bit of money come from their parents or something like that. And I mean, that's always a good thing, like that they're getting money, that they have money. But I think that their parents shouldn't have to be put burden on them of getting a lot of money or providing with a lot of their money for their student and stuff. I think school has to pay for a little bit of it so that they could, like, obviously the school pays for their food here and stuff like that, but let's say the athlete misses dinner or lunch because of, or both, just misses food in general because of practices one day, and what are they going to do? They'd have to go to like McDonald's and get like a $2 burger if they're not like super rich or something like that. So I think that's pretty good reason why students should be paid, but I will, like I said, I'll do a rebuttal to this of why they shouldn't be paid, and I kind of want to hear. I'll be watching some, like, what other people think, and just kind of seeing what some reaction to this from the other world. And this is always going to be a big issue as long as they can. And so those are the reasons why. And I'm going to talk about this plan too. So revitalizing NCAA football has been a big thing for people, for just people in general that like NCAA football, like EA Sports, like college football, video games, all that kind of stuff. And they had to cut it in 2014 because the Ed O'Bannon case said that student athletes weren't going to get paid, or cannot be paid. So, but they also can't use their likeness in video games. So if they really wanted to, EA Sports could revitalize this franchise, make a bunch of money because everyone loves it. I know that for a fact because everyone's clamoring for it to come back. And what they could do, what I would do if I was president of EA, is work out a deal with the NCAA and be like, hey, can we get the athletes to come in here? We'll make a video game about them. We'll pay them X amount of money, like $2,000 each or something like that, and then, or some kind of deal, and I think the students will take it. They'll be like, hey, we're in a video game, I like it. And it'll be like a full Madden experience, but for NCAA. And I think that'd be great for both the athlete, because they'll get a little bit of money, get to be in the video game. And obviously, of course, they'll get a free thing, a video game with maybe a little bit of money back to them too. But it's all logistics. But basically, EA pays college football athletes to make the game. They could do the same thing for NCAA basketball. And I think that would just make a lot of money for EA. If they were smart, they would do that. So, But I'm not head of EA, so I can't really say that's coming back or not. I really wish they would do it like that. That'd be cool. But I don't see that happening in the near future unless someone wises up and mans up on this court case. So that's why I think student athletes should be paid, and a plan to do it too.